Welcome back to the Wildcat Report, a news show by students for students. I'm JT Kilburn.
And I'm Kevin Pruslin.
Let's hear today's headlines. Kevin?
On Thursday, November 7th, the Wilmington High School Medical Careers Club will host a Red Cross blood drive in the school's gymnasium. For those interested in donating, check the link in the description for more information.
On Sunday the 3rd, WCTV premiered the first half of its student-made film, Guy 4 Serial Killers. Don't ask, at the Luna Theater in Lowell Mills. The full film will hopefully be released in early June of 2025.
An analysis of our recently released MCAS results showed that our school did exceptionally well. Our percent of students who either met or exceeded the standard score was the highest in the entire Middlesex Freedom League.
Students had a day off on Tuesday the 5th, as the Wilmington High School was a polling location for the presidential election, as well as several other state and local elections. After a hotly contested race, Donald Trump was elected and will become the 47th President of the United States. He will be inaugurated January 20th, 2025.
And of course, the varsity school soccer team won the Middlesex Freedom League bracket and will go on to compete in the Massachusetts High School varsity playoffs. For more on that, we go to Domenic Bonanno and Limoli in the sports report.
This week on the Sports Report, the Wildcat cheer team just got third in regionals. Congrats on qualifying for states. Wildcat track star Addie Hunt also recently signed a college letter of intent. Addie will run cross-country Division I at UMass Lowell next year. Don't look now, but the Wilmington High football team is putting it all together, coming off 2 big wins. The Wildcats took on Arlington Catholic, where they came back from trailing 13-0 to eventually win 46-35. 4 of those touchdowns coming from running back Gus Lambert. The week after, they fought through Essex Tech, where Gus scored 2 more touchdowns. For those counting at home, Gus has 8 touchdowns in their last 4 games. Sophomore quarterback Mark Holleran has really shown himself as a runner throughout the season, even scoring the game-sealing touchdown against Essex Tech. We go to Lex, who's sitting with him now.
Thanks, Tom. How was your first varsity season as a sophomore?
It was honestly pretty good, even though we had a lot of injuries. It was a very unexpected season. It's not the way how I planned it to go, at all. With Lowell going down, missing Luke at the end of the season. But honestly, it was pretty good despite all the losses. I learned a lot for next year.
How do you keep your head up during the losing streak?
I honestly just knew this was just a learning experience, and that next year it's gonna be way better. This is all learning, the extra experience for next year. So I just thought of it like that.
How do you think you've grown over the season?
I've grown a lot. At the beginning of the season, I used to be more nervous. Before games, I used to be really nervous. And then after my concussion, before games, I wasn't really getting nervous. I was getting more confident. Before Burlington, I was really confident. In Wakefield, I was confident. I wasn't really nervous at all. So I just grown in that part.
Who would you say has been the team MVP this season?
I can't give it to one person. I give it to towards the end of the season. I give it to the whole line. But if I were to give it to one person, I'd probably give it to either Gus Lambert or Timmy Watson. Gus had a crazy second half of the season. At the beginning of the season, we couldn't run the ball at all. But in the second half of the season, we were able to run the ball really good. Gus again 200 yards a game. It was just insane. And Timmy, I'd honestly say Timmy was the defensive MVP. He's a tough hitter.
How are you feeling starting the Thanksgiving game?
I'm so excited. I've been going to this game since I was in first grade. I have so many memories of going to this game. When I was a little kid and just wishing I was on the team. Because my brother used to be the team manager for the team, Ryan Woolman. And I would go with him. I just thought the atmosphere was so cool. I just remember wishing I was playing. And now I'm at the age where I can play, so it's exciting.
What's your favorite Thanksgiving food?
Probably one of the desserts, creme brulee. Creme brulee is so good. But if I had really a food, probably turkey.
Hi, I'm Evander with the Art Part. This episode, we are highlighting the Soundscape a cappella group, a group of talented singers at WHS who perform without musical accompaniment. Recently, they performed at a concert at Galvin High School in Wakefield. Additionally, they have entered the 2025 International Championship of High School a cappella competition, so stay tuned to see if they get in. Over to you, Vivian.
What's your name?
My name is Claire Susi.
And what's your vocal part?
I am a soprano.
How often does Soundscapes meet?
Well, at the beginning of the year, we met like 2 or 3 times a week, and right now we're taking a little break because we all have other activities to do, and we'll resume later in the year.
What would you say is your favorite part of Soundscape?
My favorite part of Soundscape is probably all these friends that I've gotten to be introduced to, because we have a larger group this year, and so I get to meet a bunch of new people of all different grades.
What's your favorite song that you've sung?
My favorite song is probably Tears of Gold. It's the first song we learned, and so we all know it really, really well, and so it's really fun to sing.
And what is one song that you would really like to do?
We've thrown around Kaleidoscope by Chapel Roan, and it's definitely a possibility for the future, and I think we're all hoping to be able to do that song.
You are also in the drama club. How do you feel the two clubs interact in your life?
It's a little difficult to be able to balance both of them, because at the beginning of the year, rehearsals were 3 times a week and Soundscape was 2 times a week, so I was here, or 3 times a week, because there was one day that it overlapped, and so I was literally here 5 days a week. Now it's scaled back a bit, but it was still a little difficult to balance both of them, but it's getting easier as the year goes on.
What are any upcoming events in Soundscape?
Upcoming events, we're doing caroling. We have yet to set dates for that, but we're also going to be at the Festival of Trees and the tree lighting on the same day. I believe that's the 7th. And then we're also singing the national anthem here at the school during Flex Block on November 12th.
That concludes our interview. Back to the host.
Thank you, Ragsdales. For our next segment, we are going to go off to Media Review, hosted by Domenic Guisti.
Hello, and welcome back to Media Review. I'm Domenic Guisti, and today we are here with Justin Walker, who has recently recorded, directed, and edited a short horror film called Breach. So now, before we get into what Breach is about, could you just take us through the process of what it was like to record the film?
This was, to preface this entire thing was technically meant to be a school project, which we did. So I came up with the story idea, and I came up with the script and the prop list, and then the other people I made it with, the 3 other people I made it with, they went out and they ran around the state to go get props that I asked for. And so shout out to them, shout out to Ben Brady and JJ for doing all that work beforehand, because I was at work. I had to set up everything in a particular manner that allowed all of our time schedules to intersect properly, that we would be here at 7:30. We were given an hour of filming time, and we came out with it was around 45 minutes of footage, edited down to 10.
So, could you give us a brief synopsis of the film?
Okay, so this worker at this complex, his name's Remy Sinclair. He's a worker, and he's closing down for the night. He files a report on a breach of a creature in the building, and goes out, right? And he's trying to get out of the building whilst the power's out, and the creature is roaming around, and I don't want to spoil the rest of it. So,
what would you say is your favorite scene that you recorded? Like, what was most fun?
The most fun scene was probably the scene where, well, I'm dead in that room right over there. I'm down the floor, and I improvised, reaching out and grabbing Brady by the neck and screaming at him. So you can see that. that was pretty fun.
All right, and so which character in the film was your favorite, and who would you say played their character the best?
JJ as Hugo was hilarious. I can't really say too much about what happens to him or what he does, but when he does it, it's real magical.
All right, and lastly, where can people watch this film?
On YouTube, there's a link posted. There's a post on Facebook, on the WCTV Facebook, and my Instagram, which is my Instagram.
All right, well, thank you, Justin. All right, so that is all we have for media review. If you guys want to send in a book, TV show, or movie for me to review, then feel free to email us at info@wctv.org. That's all for now. I'm Domenic Guisti. Back to the studio.
Stick review. Okay, so today we have a beautiful stick, very straight, well formed. It's something you'd use to maybe row a boat, or something an old wizard would have, maybe like with a cloak they'd use to summon something from the sky. I don't know. It's very good form, good color, kind of flaky, but that can be dealt with. Maybe a little sanding would do this stick good. And it's sturdy, it's solid. Okay. Overall, I'm gonna give this a 7.43 out of 10. See you later.
Wow, thank you, Justin. Those were powerful, confusing words.
What?
That was stick review.
Our next segment is going to be Club Feature, featuring the Model UN Club.
Okay, quiet on set.
That was terribly safe.
Yeah, that was.
That probably
All
made it
right,
worse.
let's try again.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
We had it, JT did it.
Well, no, I wanted to have an independent clap so we can actually sync the audio.
Oh, hold on.
3, 2, 1. There you go.
We did it.
That hurt. Who am I here with today?
I'm JT Kilburn.
I'm Evander and Ragsdale.
All right. So what position are you guys in for Model UN?
So I am the club president. I was the club secretary last year. This is my first year as president. And that basically means that I'm just like a general, in charge person for the students. I'm the one who has the most authority in the student officers section for the club, and I chair the most conferences, and I'm kind of the one who works closest with Hackett to kind of figure out the direction of the club.
I am the vice president, which means it's my job to support that guy. I also chair some conferences. I help determine what our conferences will be, just generally part of the leadership team.
Riddle me this. What is your favorite Saturday conference to go to?
Oh, I think St. John's High, because they call it a learning conference, which I think is really great because some of the other places we go to, I'm looking at you, St. John's Prep, take it a little bit too seriously. I think St. John's High, it's like a nice mix of it's a lot of fun, but you're also, doing slightly higher level debating, and it's a lot of younger kids who are learning for the first time how to do those kind of debates.
There was 39 people in my
Yeah, exactly. Like the beginner conferences,
Yeah.
like always have a ton of people, which I think is great.
So I've only been to one conference outside of school, and it was St. John's High.
This year?
Yes, this year. I had a lot of fun though, so I'm hoping to go to the other ones that I can this year, and then I'll be able to make a more informed assertion then.
Who were you representing for your debate, and what was your debate?
My debate was on, it was a Security Council on the increased nuclearization and militarization of North Korea, and I represented Malaysia. Malaysia overall, according to my research, believed in the complete denuclearization of the world and had no close diplomatic ties to North Korea. So the delegation from Malaysia, which was me, was working with other countries to create a more complete denuclearization of the world, including North Korea, but also countries like the United States. As Malaysia, I mostly, when I talked about the negative influence that nuclear weapons have had on the world as a whole and the importance of reducing them, not just in North Korea, but in the world, because diplomatic relations controlled by the fear of nuclear weapons isn't sustainable.
So I was in the Crusades Joint Crisis Committee, which was an amazing committee, very well run. My chair was amazing. Where basically we have two groups, one representing the Christians and one representing the Muslims, and they are both basically competing in the violent conflict of the Crusades for dominance in the Holy Land. I represented Vitaly I Michiel. I don't actually know how to say his name. His name is so weird because it's Vitaly and then a 1 as like a middle name, like the number 1, and then Michiel. I just call him Vitaly. He's the Doge of Venice, and he has a lot of boats, and he doesn't really care that much about the religious conflict. He's not like a super religious person, but he also knows that if he gets his boats involved in the conflict, he can increase his influence in the Middle East and create new trade routes along the Mediterranean. Yeah. So that was kind of my whole thing.
What was your main point of talking? Like, what did you talk about the most?
I mostly just talked about strategizing and how I and other people can use their unique skills and resources to benefit to the conflict. So a lot of what I said really wasn't about religion. It was about how I have so many boats and they should use all of my boats to help defeat the Muslims.
Bragging?
Yeah, pretty much.
Is there anything else you guys would like to tell me about Model UN?
Join Model UN. It's fun.
Yeah, what he said.
And it's low commitment. We only have 1 or 2 conferences a month, and they're not as stuffy and serious as you think.
They're really funny.
They're so fun, yeah.
You can also show up to one and then not show up again, or show up to one and then show up to one 3 months later.
If you want, you can just show up to one and never show up again, but you won't wanna because you'll have so much fun the first time.
Yeah.
And if you are interested, you can email one of us, the officers, JT or I.
Yeah, don't email me.
Email or talk to Mr. Hackett, and we can get you involved however you want to be involved.
Thanks, Jason. That's it for this week's show. For Wildcat Report, I'm JT Kilburn.
And I'm Kevin Pruslin.
Signing off.